Hi, it's Markus. I'm back, and with an absolutely brutal race that seemingly had no flat portions at all. Could I muscle my way to the finish line with the group and punch up the climb for an unexpected victory? This video is my second race back after taking time off to focus on base building. During the first race of the Rolling With ENVE series, I was in the lower A category and spent the first 2 laps dangling off the back, like a sumo wrestler hanging off the edge of a cliff by his fingertips with anvils strapped to his legs. What I'm trying to say is that my legs were heavy and my power was non-existent. On the third and final lap, I began to unravel. As we reached the steep portions of the final climb, the elastic snapped and I was left seconds behind the peloton. All I could do is put whatever power I had left into the pedals, while the pack screamed down the hill and pulled away from me, on their way to the finish line to duke it out for victory without me. When looking at my numbers after the race, my heart rate was really high, and my power was down from where it was when I stopped racing 2 months prior. It was a bit discouraging, but I reminded myself that I had been exclusively training endurance, and that I would improve as I put more races under my belt. Fortunately for me, most of the field was dropped on the climb, and I clawed my way across the finish line in 10th place out of 21 riders. Now it was time for race 2 of the Rolling With ENVE series. On the day I selected to race, the only time slot that worked for me was the upper A category. Yes, I said the higher of the 2 A categories, where the fast riders eat posers like me for breakfast.
It's going to be wild. A lot of up and down, not a lot of recovery. Well, this is kind of nuts, guys. Here I am, just getting back into racing, second race back. I was in the lower A category for the first race, and I got dropped on the final climb. Didn't make it to the finish line with the pack. And here I am, in my second race. Now in the upper A category. I've never raced before, first time ever. On a course that is, again, full of hills and opportunities for me to get left behind. I think I'm just like a workout. My very best to stay with the front group. I don't think it's realistic to expect a podium or anything like that. Even a top 10 is probably a stretch. I'd be thrilled, actually, top 10. Absolutely thrilled. And this thing starts uphill. SLA. Why not? I think it's the best bike for the race. I'm give myself every energy I can. This climb. Not a foregone conclusion that I'm going to be with the pack at the top of it. I need to really push myself. I think we're going to have some beasts here. It's going to be important to stay kind of semi towards the front on any kind of an incline, especially this first one. Over 50 riders.
Now the climb I alluded to is the Sgurr Summit South, which is a 1 kilometer climb at 3.3% grade, with the steepest bits reaching over 9%.
Anvil. Outstanding.
The descent was nearly as treacherous, with steep slopes resulting in high speeds and heavy dust causing visibility to be difficult. The pack was stretched out, and a number of riders were dangerously close to getting dropped.
A lot of casualties behind us.
The next portion of the route looked like it would be a bit more civilized, but it was not. I was desperately stomping on the pedals, wondering when the pack was finally going to call a ceasefire. Look at me sitting well north of 300 watts, nearly 8 minutes into this race. That is a lot for me. Welcome back to racing, Markus. After a brief respite where I was able to get my heart rate back under 180 and my average power under 300, it was time for the next incline. And this meant more relentless pacing from the strong riders.
I'm doubting myself. I'm doubting my ability to stay with the group over these climbs here coming up. That's not good.
After we punched up this 8% unnamed climb that felt like a wall, it was time to complete 4 laps around the Breakaway Brae Reverse. We punched up the climb and got as much recovery as we could on the way down. But even the pace on the descents was so fast. I was suffering immensely. While I fight the urge to drop off the back and stop the pain, I would like to take a moment to ask you for a like if you are enjoying this video. Consider subscribing if you would like to see more. Your support means a lot. I fought and fought to keep attached for as long as I could. But finally, with about 1.2 miles left and another ascent of the Sgurr Summit South ahead, the elastic snapped.
That's it.
I was forced to time trial my way up the final slopes alone. Collateral damage in a war being waged by gladiators on bikes, fighting it out for sweet victory at the top of the final climb.
Oh my gosh, that sucks so much. But that might be power records. Despite it only being my second race back, I dug deep.
Well, thanks for watching. And if you liked this, check out these other race summary videos. Oh, and as always, ride on.